Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
You gonna say anything?
What's up, Buzz Squad? It's your boy Dalton. Mr. Take it slow and easy, man. Come on now. Was that a good enough troll?
It trolled me.
So today, we're going to be talking about the possible death of a card game.
Yeah,
Question mark?
You guys saw the title and the thumbnail. By the way, what do you think of Dalton's thumbnail? He was very proud of it today.
That's all I got to say about it.
So yeah, we're talking about Lightseekers, and how it is dead, but hold off, not dead, but not dead. Is the summary of today's.
So it's
episode.
undead?
That would be kind of cool. We've never had a zombie card game. Unless you count Kaijudo. Is Kaijudo a zombie card game because it's Duel Masters back from the dead?
Maybe. So today, Dalton's Mr. Reaction. That's all I'm here for. Isn't that right, Jacob?
Pretty much. I am the man with the notes, which is a rarity around here. Because I was the one who kind of watched all this unfold myself, whereas Dalton's more secondhand getting it from me.
Yeah, sounds about right.
I want to address first, though, who is this video for? It's an interesting question because it is somewhat for Lightseekers fans, but it's also not. Particularly, you guys may know, our fan base is not necessarily a bunch of Lightseekers fans. In fact, it's our first time really covering the game. But we've got, fans of other card games who enjoy watching our content. And I think this is a good look at the 11th hour for a card game for fans of other card games as well. So they can, kind of watch how that unfolds and maybe look for signs of that in the card games they enjoy.
Yeah, I want to be sure I can find out, if Buddy Fight decides to start showing this off, even though it never happens.
Yeah, right. I'd also like to address the fact, probably the biggest thing is Dalton and I are both very much newbies when it comes to Lightseekers.
Oh, boy. Is that true?
So this all started for us when I did my tier list video. I did my tier list video last week?
Yep.
And it was memey. It was just for fun. We were, having a good time, joking around.
On that. If you're watching this and you're coming from the tier list, he was being sarcastic.
Only about 30% of it is actual opinion. The rest of it's trolling.
I was just talking about when you were saying your opinions are facts, but sure.
Oh my gosh, yes. People actually got mad that I said that. I'm like, that's clearly a joke. But that's not the point. The point is I listed a bunch of card games, one of those being Lightseekers, which I admitted was the one I was least experienced with out of everything on the list. But I gave it a D. Mostly off of the fact that the aesthetics don't really do anything for me, and there was no element of it that really stood out to me as, oh my gosh, I need to play this. But I wanted to give it a fair shake. So one thing I did is in most of the card games that I covered, I found a community and I posted it there because I wanted to get their reactions. Some card game communities handled it very well. Some did not. Particularly, we had a lot of fans of Y Shorts who were very upset, which were rightfully so. I was clearly joking around I put it in F tier. It's realistically like a D minus. But Lightseekers got a relatively poor grade, and I asked for their input on, whether or not it was a fair rating, and most of them were very respectful and, offered not criticism, but things I might not have looked at about the game, and it was a good discussion. I then started, looking around saying, well, this community seems relatively nice. I'm going to try, giving it a shot at some point. And I kind of had that community, the Facebook group, and I was, occasionally scrolling through it, trying to absorb some of the information every now and then. Oh, boy. That's when things started happening.
What started happening?
Bad things. I decided to give the game a fair shake at probably the worst time, because that's when the game died.
Hey, what?
Oh, it died.
Well, what you mean? The app's still here.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Okay.
In particular, what happened was the company behind the game, Playfusion, who also does the Warhammer card game, which also is not doing super well right now. They made some announcements that essentially killed the game. Now, it's debatable whether it's real dead or kinda dead, but it's at the very least kinda dead.
So we gotta poke it with a stick
to see if it's really dead.
Yeah,
I think that's what we're doing here right now. Like,
oh, okay.
We're the guys off to the side poking it with a stick to see if it's dead. And I also, with that analogy out of the way, I'd like to say this is in no way us kicking the game while it's down. We're not making fun of Lightseekers. We're analyzing and trying to share the experience of, hopefully a little objectively, the experience of the card game dying as people who aren't really fans of it
or haven't gotten a chance to get into it.
I am talking about this today as a bystander, which is kind of unique for me. Typically I'm the guy wrapped up in the card game so hard when I talk about it. Like our buddy fight discussions, I'm trying to say this and not be a moron. Generally,
Whoa. It's too late for that.
No. Dalton and I generally know what we're talking about with Buddy Fight or some other card games. We
to a degree.
We live and breathe them. Sure, our opinions might be ones people agree with, but we've immersed ourselves so much in them that we're probably pretty biased with stuff like that. It's harder for us to take an objective look on those card games, I'm sure. But here we have the chance to. But we also have the chance to look at it and give some good warning signs for what to look out for your card game. Whether you play Bakugan or Buddy Fight or Magic or Transformers Trading Card Game or Webkins, whatever. Just cause.
Cleaning my glasses back on.
Also, as a side note, I tried generally to share that in every community I could, like at least one for each card game to give each one a fair shake on it, and discovered there basically is none for Exodus. One of the games I rated, I could not find any legitimate group with more than 20 people in it to share it. So at least Lightseekers is in better shape than that.
This isn't a time to take shots at other card games.
Maybe not. But that's just how I am, I guess. So let's talk about the actual things that were said that made people start to jump ship, which you have to push pretty hard in the wrong direction for people to start not only quitting the game, but publicly quitting, saying, nope, I'm out, which happened. So the first thing is the nature of these updates was very poor. There were two primarily big things. There's some other things that were going on that led up to this. The death of the card game is never, death from like a single thing. It's always death by 1,000 cuts. You agree with that, right? Luck and Logic didn't die for one reason; it died for 1,000. Right?
Yeah,
You agree?
that's true. But I don't even feel like it got a fair enough shake at it by the company. But that's my own opinion on it. We don't need to go deeper into that.
So there were two initial messages. The first had to do with their tournaments. I'm still learning this system. It's not my card game. Again, I'm sorry, I'm gonna be saying that like 12 times throughout the video just to reiterate it so we don't have people complaining in the comments. My understanding is they generally sort into their tournaments into tier levels, with bigger tournaments having a better tier level. I believe the highest is gold, and then probably silver underneath that, and then you have like more casual like city championships and stuff underneath that. I don't know if those count as silver events. No one really explained that to me. I don't.
Did you ask?
No.
Well, there you go.
I asked a little bit, but not really. So it's probably my fault, but I don't think it matters for this discussion. So they just dropped essentially what is an atom bomb going, oh yeah, all those tournaments? Yeah, they're canceled.
Wait, you can't just do that. Can you?
Apparently you can. Now, there are some big asterisks on that, and part of the problem with this message was no one knew how severe it was. And this will be a thing that comes up over and over throughout this discussion, is the communication was very poor. So it was initially, are they all canceled? Is it just certain ones that are canceled? There was the talk about it only being the ones in the United States that were canceled, but more others in Europe and whatnot were still on. There was a lot of like, wait, what?
Okay.
And I don't blame people for that. And then I start to learn, like, not just, oh, that's bad, but, oh, that's really bad, because they had several, like, really close upcoming events. One in Ohio and one in Indiana. Those are the two I heard most about. I think there's something going on in the UK, too. I'm not sure. And for at least one of those events, people were already locked in. Like, there's one, like, in the next couple weeks. They already had their plane tickets bought, their hotel bought, all this stuff. And then the company behind it goes, yeah, no, we're done.
Oof, that's a big oof.
Now, there's another asterisk to that. I will try to get to that later. In essence, some of the, I think, employees or more volunteers for the company are still trying to, like, salvage them.
So still kind of have them go on. And like,
but certainly not at the level they were, if that happens. So that was message number one, just dropped. And here's the absolute worst part of all of this. It's not what was said, which was terrible, but also how it was said, particularly the form it was said. Playfusion, the company behind it, they've got tons of different communication outlets, right? I think they even have some representatives and employees who are actually in different communities and whatnot, like the Facebook group for it and everything. They've got their own website where they can post information. They've got, tons of social media accounts. They didn't use any of those. The only place they announced it, at least initially, was on their Discord server.
Wait, so how did you find out about it?
Because someone screen capped that and posted it in the Facebook group.
Oh, okay.
Can you imagine that? Like if Bushiroad canceled Cardfight Vanguard and the only place they announced it was on Japanese Twitter.
Yeah, that's a douchey move, if you ask me. Pretty. Yeah, I could see that.
Can you imagine if Konami just canceled Duel Links and the only place they announced it was on Instagram?
Nope. Just keep going.
That was amazing. And it was to the point where it became clear to me why they did this, and it's not good, but we need to get through Discord message number 2 first. But before I even do that, very few people actually saw it initially, and even now I was looking earlier today for updates on this situation, and I was looking in the Facebook group, and there's still a bunch of people going, wait, well, what happened? And you got to be at least a decently hardcore fan of the game to join a Facebook group for it. You know, your super casual fan's probably not going to be a part of that group, right?
Yeah.
Most likely the case.
I could see that.
And a lot of them didn't know about it. That's nuts. So message number 2 comes out of the blue 3 hours later. Mm-hmm. And it says, and this is one of those things that's going to need some context, basically all of our tournaments, cash prize support is gone.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember hearing something about that. Them having cash support for all their tournaments and so forth, and then just kind of kick everyone away from it now.
Right. So that doesn't sound super bad, but that's because we come from card games that don't do cash prize support at all. In fact, most card games are really bad at doing cash prize support. Unless you're playing the big 3, unless you're playing Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, prize support's non-existent when it comes to actual money. But Lightseekers,
I think Super's actually up there too.
Maybe sometimes. But Lightseekers, that was like one of its core selling points was we do cash, which is a good selling point. I'm not going to lie. That is a great marketing tool to say, hey, all you people who play card games and you dedicate your life to this, and at best you win a booster box, you could theoretically make a living playing this card game.
Yeah, that's nice. That is nice.
So I don't know what cash amounts were. They mentioned even like city level championships losing their cash prizes, which I can't imagine were a sustainable thing.
Mm-hmm.
My understanding is a lot of communities already had their local player base dry up quite a bit over the past couple months due to problems like lack of communication and the most recent set being delayed multiple times but there wasn't a nail in the coffin for players, Getting rid of one of the main features of the card game being the cash prize support is one of those things.
What do you want me to talk about? I'm just trying to learn,
So I do see there are a couple Lightseekers players in our chat right now.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks for joining us, guys. And, if you have any input to add, please do. Again, I have actually officially been playing Lightseekers for one day. I played one demo of it like a year ago.
Half a day. Let's be realistic. Half a day.
And that was it. I started learning in the past week or two, what the going-ons were, but I officially didn't play a game until today when I downloaded the mobile app version and played it through that. And honestly, so far I've been enjoying it. I would not call myself a fan yet, but the gameplay mechanics are pretty solid. I like it. To the point where I'd say my D rating of it in the tier video is probably a little harsh.
Okay.
But that's where we're at. But just for proof, to show how new I am to the game, here is my actual... Look at that. Look. That's my actual account. You can send me a friend request or something if you really want to. I've barely been playing, but I've been enjoying what I have played.
That's good. That's good.
So these 2 messages happen, and they're only on Discord, and they are just atom bombs. And there's even 2 of them. There's a Japan joke there somewhere.
I ain't got nothing.
No. That is the point where I had already been, scouring, looking, at what's going on before that second message dropped. But that was the point where single sellers, retailers for the game, every card game that gets decently sized has stores that specialize in selling that card game.
Right.
We have several for Buddy Fight. Right? Several of them are like, yep, nope, we're out. Huge, massive sale on all our stuff. We are clearing out of the game. We're going home. We're done. Pack up your bags. That is not a good sign.
No, it is not. That is very bad. Very bad.
Add on to people who are like selling out their collections and whatnot. The marketplace for the games had a big upswing in traffic, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the point where other people who aren't Jacob started to go, yeah, this game's dead. That is when I started to see people lament the loss of their card game. Once your fans think the game is dead, the game is dead.
Yeah, I could see that being pretty true. Wow. I couldn't imagine that. That would be like the worst thing to happen to anyone. I feel so bad for the Lightseeker players.
So we've dealt with deaths of card games before. We were both there when the atom bomb of, oh, hey, Luck and Logic isn't going to be published in English anymore. We were both there laughing, but heartfeltly, I guess, when Dragoborn died. We both play tons of dead card games, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other card games that we actually were playing when they died. Are there any? I guess Caster Chronicles still exists.
Yeah, I guess so.
I know that feeling, and it sucks. And I saw a lot of the same patterns, particularly a lot of misconceptions and mistalk, and people like, oh, well, they're probably going to kill this, but leave that. But this is going to happen, but I think this is going to happen, but this isn't going to happen. I heard someone say that this is going on. Someone said there are a bunch of layoffs going on, and someone said there aren't. And then someone said that these tournaments are still going to happen, but someone else said they're not. A bunch of confusion, really. And that's one of the hardest parts,
I'm still confused on what just happened there. Just all the hand movements you were doing, I'm lost. Just lost.
So that's when I decided we need to talk about this. That's when I first messaged Dalton over Messenger, and I'm like, yo, man, I gave him the briefest of summaries on what's going on, and I said, we need to do an episode on this. We were originally going to do it yesterday, but I was kind of sick still, so we held off till today. But also gave me more time to collect things, and that my mission then, after we decided we're talking about this, was screenshot everything, learn what we can, make sure we're as accurate as possible for when we do cover it. So I hope we're doing a good job at that.
Yes. I hope Jacob is, because,
Yeah, if there's something wrong here, don't blame Dalton. It's all on me. Dalton, what was your reaction when I first was telling you about this?
Actually, hold on. I'm on Messenger right now. Let me figure this out. Got to get past the memes. What was it? Oh, crap. That was my reaction.
Good response. Good response. Now, you were not even dipping your toe into the water of Lightseekers,
Nope.
When this was going on.
Mm-mm.
And you still really aren't. You downloaded the app, right?
Yep. Still confused as ever. I've been playing the solo adventure and still trying to figure out the game and why people liked it. It's not my cup of tea, honestly, but I'm probably still gonna mess around with it for at least 2 days to see if maybe it does catch me or something. But as of now, it's there. It's a mobile card game, I guess, that I can play, but not my cup of tea.
I rather enjoyed it, so I'll probably be playing more.
To each their own.
that was the point. After these messages came out and I was scouring the Facebook group and everything and reading up on as much as I could, that I decided I need to jump in and join the official Discord server. The Discord server where these announcements were being made. And for all I knew, there could be more.
Right.
So I joined it, and that straight up made my evening. It was amazing.
Oh, it was amazing.
It was legitimately a blast because I was not the only person there. There were a bunch of other users active who were at first just reacting, going, wait, what? But then there was an acceptance of, oh yeah, our game's dead. And then people started memeing.
So wait, how many stages of grief is there again?
6?
6?
I think we only got 2.
But now there's the card game stages of griefing. Of disbelief, acceptance, and memeing. I like it.
So it was all about gallows humor. People joking around, trying to make light of the situation they were in.
Nice pun.
And oh, thanks. It was unintentional.
I know.
And having a good time, honestly. And I was able to introduce myself and kind of explain where I'm coming from. I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what I'm doing. I think my first message into the group was like, great day to start playing and picking up Lightseekers, and I got tons of oofs, and it was at that point where like it was clear no one cared anymore about that server. Like no one saw it as a long-term thing, and there was even questions of whether or not the server would be shut down. So several of those people ended up, after discussion, joining the TCG Buzz server and have been on standby in case, I needed anything for research for this episode, and just have been, having a good time. So if you are a Lightseekers fan and you're not on our server, we do have a channel for Lightseekers specifically that some of the other people you might recognize are already in. So I was discussing both in the Lightseekers group, and I was also trying to explain to our fans on our Discord server what was going on.
Right.
And then also watching a stream one of their content creators was doing, trying to like wrap his head around it. So just doing all of this, and there was so much confusion from people of what's going on. And I think the thing that really hit the nail in the head with the confusion aspect of this is one of the people who, I'm sorry, I don't know, works for them or is a volunteer or someone, was one of the first to say, hey, I'm going to try and salvage one of these events, right? And the lead off of that message is, we know as little as you guys do. We haven't been told anything either.
That's very concerning. Very concerning. Yeah, you like the acronym that came about from my little thing? I didn't mean for that to happen. I truly didn't. I didn't try. It just happens sometimes. So where are we in your notes, sir? Or do we have to backtrack to some of the asterisks that you've had?
Oh, there are so many asterisks in this story, and I'm sure I'm going to miss some of them. So that went down, and then there were, several people jumping on saying, yeah, we're going to try and salvage these. And that's honestly where the story is at. Most people are in gallows humor mode still, laughing at their own card game dying. A lot of people have accepted it. Some people are saying they're going to throw their cards away. Then you got people like me going, no, keep them. They'll be worth something. Look at Duel Masters cards, guys. Look at Duel Master cards.
Well, then maybe.
So realistically, I want to hit the big question of, is the game dead? I don't know. I don't think anyone knows for certain at this point. But I will say, I think the physical card game is dead. I'm not sure. I think they'll probably continue the digital version if they can. Now, the question here with that is, will playfusion go out of business? Because if they go out of business, the digital version dies. If they can stick around, I see no reason for them to discontinue the digital version. But it's clear that the big problem here was that playfusion, frankly, ran out of money. They ran out of money hard. That's why the first thing you're going to do is cancel these big money drains, your big tournaments. They cost money. You got to rent a hotel. You got to fly out your sponsored players. You got to fly out your corporate people for it. You know, whoever is running it. You got to have your judges. You got to pay them. You got to do your cash prize support. That's a lot of money. So they cut that, and then they cut all other cash prizes. They ran out of money. Plain and simple, that's what happened. The question is, can they live past that? Who knows? Now, the one thing I kind of teased at earlier is the motive behind only posting about this on Discord.
You know, I guess it could be fine if, you know, a huge majority of your player base is on your Discord, which then is a great way to get that message out there. But if they're not, then it's kind of shady.
But they're not.
Oof.
So I think their Discord server, if I had to guess off the top of my head, probably has a few hundred people in it. Active, when I was looking at this yesterday, there was like 110. Right?
Okay.
Currently online users. So probably about 30 of them were actually available to read messages from them. Just comparing that to their Facebook group, which has well over 1,000 people in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can do it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But why would you specifically do it there? Well, we can take the angel shoulder and devil shoulder approaches. The angel shoulder, they just needed to get that information out. Maybe they weren't prepared enough to make a official statement on it, but they wanted to let their most loyal of fans know.
Which is fair.
Or let's look devil shoulder at what absolutely definitely happened.
We're just going to try to sneak this by you?
Yeah, we're going to try and sneak this by you, so legally we can't be sued for not telling you guys the game's being canceled, but we can sell all of our unsold stock to unsurprising people, because again, we're out of money, but we got all these booster boxes sitting off to the side. Also, coincidentally, we just had a sale on the digital version, a really big sale to raise funds.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of unsold stock. Plain and simple. And that's shady.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not that'll help them stay afloat, I don't know. But
Well, I guess another thing is you can't really say the Facebook group would be the best way to put it, as some of these Lightseeker players are saying. It was fan-owned, so a fan would have had to have found out about it somehow.
right,
So,
but I'm just
Kind of like how it did transpire.
Discord's probably the worst place for earth-shattering news.
It should have been, at the very least, tweeted.
Like knock on wood, fingers crossed, whatever else you want to do to make the next statement I say not come true. But if TCG Buzz were ever to die, I wouldn't just say, oh, on Discord, oh, we're done. I'd make a video about it. I'd post it on our Facebook. I'd talk to the communities we interact with and make sure everyone knows that. Not just put it on a small Discord server and be like, yo, just so you know. Right?
Oh, no, I was going to go out with a bang. I was going to record a video of us just swearing the entire time and then just release it.
Oh, no. I guess we wouldn't care about our monetization. At
Exactly.
that point. And another point I wanted to make, and I'm trying to forget it.
Wait, you're trying to forget it?
To not forget it. You want to know another group that they, whether through negligence or incompetence or maliciousness, are screwing over? Retailers. Local game stores. Because guess who weren't told any of this?
Oh, that's a very bad thing. You know, I guess to kind of compare it to how Luck and Logic kind of fell off, at least Bushi put it on the Luck and Logic website that we are discontinuing this.
They released they released a press release for it.
Which, you know, I don't know the exact size of playfusion or whatnot. You know, they might not be as big as Bushiroad, but At the same time, you could have done something far more to get that information out.
So I was talking with people in their official Discord server, and I'm like, retailers who don't actively follow the game but carry it for their fans, they are going to get screwed in this. So I'm like, hey, maybe reach out to your local game store and just say, if you've got a local game store you actually like, maybe say, hey, you might not want to order any Lightseekers, like I did.
Mm-hmm.
And sure, that might be a little bittersweet for those people, who are big fans of Lightseekers. I mean, I can't imagine having to tell my local game store, Frost Giant Games, hey, just don't pick up any more Buddy Fight.
Yeah,
But
it's still the right thing to do.
Local game stores have it hard enough as is. That's messy, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how playfusion works with their distribution. I don't know if they work with distributors directly or if it's a order directly from them. I don't know. I am definitely not experienced enough with the game to know that. But I do know there are groups, like secret groups for the retailers that playfusion has representatives in, and I heard from good sources that they didn't share anything with them.
Oh, that's ouch. Just ouch. That's all I can say. So what else you got there on that big old list of yours?
Man, I just got to simmer on that for a moment because it honestly kind of makes me angry. Now, I can understand if that was unintentional, but there's no way I can see it not being intentional, really. Add in the constant, delays on the most recent booster set, which is called Uprising, right? Now they're saying the physical version is out for pre-order. Today, just a couple hours ago, they announced that the next booster set's out for pre-order.
It's interesting because one of the Lightseeker players just put it in chat that they will be distributing by themselves via Amazon now, but they still want retailers to sell cards.
Yeah, good luck with that. Really.
Unless somehow the game comes back, you never know, but...
Again, all I'm hearing with that is we already printed these booster boxes and need to get rid of them, but we can't outright say that we're done or their price will plummet and no one will buy them and we will lose all our money.
Mm-hmm.
Because printing boxes and stuff like that it's not cheap. Which is why I think the game still has some future as a digital-only card game, because the expenses are less for a digital card game in general. Sure, you have developers you have to pay and server maintenance and all this stuff, but you do lose the costs of printing cards and printing boxes and shipping and managing distribution. The problem here isn't necessarily that, physical card games can't work anymore in this modern age. The problem is Lightseekers tried to do both. And while that's really cool, I don't think any other card game has done both nearly as well, except maybe Chaotic.
Yeah, but Chaotic had... Well, I guess Chaotic is the root behind Lightseekers in a sense. The whole scanning of stuff.
Yeah, you can scan your cards and add them to the digital version, and the two versions play exactly the same. It's really quite cool. That way, it's kind of like a best of both worlds, For those who love their digital card games, they can have access at their fingertips, and those people who love the physical and collecting the things can do that too. The problem here is you get the expenses of both. Add in the fact that Lightseekers had a really ambitious marketing.
Mm-hmm.
I got tons of ads for the thing. Were they good ads? No. But I got tons of them. That cost money. And I know tons of other card game fans who knew about Lightseekers specifically because they had ads for it. Also, you've got the problem of trying to start up a competitive tournament scene, which costs money too. I'm not surprised they ran out of money, honestly, right?
It could be part of it too, But, it's hard to say. If you can sell toys and you have a mobile game, you have an an actual trading card game, eventually you might get picked up as a TV show. I don't know. If you work backwards compared to other things, like how most TV shows start off as a TV show and then they have to sell merchandise, work backwards. I don't know. It could have worked out if they had a TV show, but I don't know.
So I want to take a couple minutes now. Consider this a different section of the video. As people who have dealt with the death of their card games before, we've got some experience with this, and what I want to do is try and offer some advice. The what do I do now advice for Lightseekers players. Number one, keep playing. Nothing says just because the game is, having some struggles or whatnot, you can't keep playing. Sure enough, just as many people who are saying, I'm done with this game, there are others saying, I will fight to the end for my card game, right? Of course.
This is true.
I mean, would you be one of those people for Buddy Fight?
That's a really heated question right now, I don't know about that, but yes, of course. Of course. I almost did it for Luck and Logic, actually, but I just didn't want to learn Japanese.
Yeah, you can keep playing it. In fact, the digital version, nothing's changed with the digital version of the game. Keep playing it. It's fun. The physical cards, I don't see a future for them. So that leaves you two options for the physical card game. Also, with the digital one, just in case, I would advise against buying any digital currency for right now. There's still a chance it might be canceled. I don't know, but you're probably okay if you're already sitting on a good collection. Mm-hmm. The physical card game, I see no future in. But that leaves you with three options, in my opinion.
Okay.
One, get rid of your cards.
And in what way?
Sell them, trade them to a friend for maybe a different card game. We've done that before. Mm-hmm. Burn them. Who cares? Point is, leave the physical Lightseeker card game. And there are many people who have already made that decision. Maybe you could go through your collection of cards and sort out the currently expensive staples and sell those and keep the bulk. That way you've got still something physical to remember the game by, but you can play it digitally instead. Okay. Option two is hold on to all your cards. I'd be looking at long-term storage options more because you're probably going to be less incentivized to play it every day, especially if you run out of people to play it with, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, as much as we love Duel Masters, it's not something we whip out every time we want to play a card game.
It's because you don't want to.
That's also a fine option. There's no shame in that or anything. And yes, your cards will go down in value. There's no way they're not going to, but that's okay. You already bought those cards,
Might as well enjoy them while you have them.
Enjoy them. Right. That's a great way to put it. Option three is to start buying. Particularly, you could see this as a future investment, but not for a long time. But you don't even have to look at it as a monetary thing. You can look at it as, I am a huge fan of this game. I want to keep cards for it and whatnot. Because the market's going to bottom out for both the secondary market for singles and also for sealed product. No one's going to want it for quite a long time. You're going to see, for a while at least, booster boxes, I don't know what the current retail price for a box is, drop to like $10-20. Now, most people are just going to wash their hands of it and be gone. But some people, it might be a good chance to buy those things. So you can do booster drafts or, just have some fun opening packs, right?
Oh, yeah. It's always fun to open up packs.
I mean, that's something we do sometimes with Kaijudo. Kaijudo boxes, although they're just starting to increase in price after bottoming out, for the longest time were like $15 to $20 a box, and you could get tons of them, and it was just fun to open, right?
Sorry, I was checking chat.
You agree? Kaijudo boxes were very cheap for quite a while, and they were fun to buy and open, even though there was no value in it.
Yeah, that's true. It was super fun.
Now, if the digital version of Lightseekers continues, that could actually incentivize the physical cards to be a collector's item someday. That would be cool, but unlikely. Point is, don't try and buy stuff to make money. Do it because you like it. and never spend money you don't have, obviously. But if you were planning on buying more Lightseekers and the current news and the likely death of the physical card game hasn't spooked you off, you might get some great deals in the next 6 months, right?
Yeah, this is true. Very true. What else you want me to talk about?
I'm actually running out of things.
We've been going on for an hour, Maybe it's time to have this journey into the Discord. If you're a Lightseeker player who hasn't joined our Discord, join it. Come talk. Say why the game was fantastic. Maybe talk about maybe it will come back or something like that. Because that's always a possibility. It could always somehow get rebirthed or something, like a phoenix type deal. Or just come and talk and hang, I think it's a pretty chill Discord.
Oh, definitely. My final thought for this episode is going to be whether you're a Lightseekers fan who's just enjoying watching the place burn down and, or enjoying the memes and the gallows humor, whether you're one of those people who even denies the game is dying, maybe you're right, I'm wrong, whether you're one of the people who threw all your product in a fire, whether you're the type of player who sold out as soon as you heard trouble was brewing, whether you're the type of person who's going to stick with the game till the very end, it doesn't matter. The point is, you got some good memories with it, the game's been fun, and the game will still be fun. Feel free to enjoy it, feel free to not enjoy it, whatever. I had a point there somewhere. It sucks. I know how it feels to be in that situation. But enjoy it while you still can, and, make sure you don't lose track of those friends you've made through the game, especially like online friends. That type of stuff tends to fizzle out quite a bit after a game dies, so make sure you keep those connections.
Mm-hmm. Good words. Good words.
Oh, and actually one more thing. My last thing. There are tons of content creators, particularly on Twitch, I see, for Lightseekers, and support them still. Mm-hmm. It's devastating to have not just the card game you love die, but the card game you've built your online persona off of die. That's terrible. So, support those people. Show them some love.
Yeah. I think that's going to wrap it up from us. You can follow us on social media. We have a Facebook group, an Instagram, obviously a Discord. If you'd like to support us, even though it's kind of towards the end, we do have Super Chat enabled. Probably should have said something at the beginning, but it was a really touchy subject. We also have a Patreon if you'd like to support us. And, sorry to the Lightseeker players out there that your game is dying / not dying. But there's other card games you can always join, that could give you the same feeling as Lightseekers.
Play Buddy Fight, it's great. I mean, we're obviously very biased in this, but the Buddy Fight, actually, one of the first things I said on our Discord when I was learning about the community was I said, the Lightseekers community seems really friendly and doesn't have those, toxic, cancerous players like a lot of card games tend to drag in. It's just a fact, guys. Don't get mad at me. They exist, right? And I'm like, it reminds me a lot of the Buddy Fight community, where it's just a bunch of nice people enjoying a game together and, being supportive of each other. So if that's something that was important to you with the Lightseekers community, maybe give Buddy Fight a try. Obviously, we're very, very, very biased on this because it's our favorite card game. Well, at least our main card game.
You done?
Yeah.
So above all else, stay classy, y'all.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.